All right, moving now to the UK. British Jewish community leaders issuing a scathing reprimand of ultra-conservative Israeli MK Bezalel Smotrich. The rare rebuke calling on Smotrich to leave the country over his, quote, hateful ideology, as Smotrich was touring the UK to gather support against the new Israeli religious conversions law. But joining us to tell us more now is CEO of the UK Board of Deputies of British Jews, Michael Wegier. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. So what prompted this message, though? Had you any contact with Smotrich in the UK beforehand?
No, there had not been any contact, certainly between the Board of Deputies, of which I am the Chief Executive. He may have had contact with other organisations, but certainly not with us. We are the democratic elected leadership of the Jewish community, representing 180 synagogues and about 35 organisations, all of whom elect deputies to send for us to conduct our policy. We were not given notice of his visit.
So, replying to your initial tweet, though, against him, Smotrich actually tweeted that he still loves all of the U.K. Jewish community. How do you respond?
Well, I mean, he can speak for himself as he did. He clearly does not love LGBT Jews. He clearly does not like Reform Jews. He has come out against both those communities quite specifically. And what bothered us as much as that, and more than that, is his blatant racism against Israel's Arab citizens. And that was the reason why we issued our tweet.
Yeah, I mean, as you just mentioned a couple of his positions, and Smotrich has often made controversial remarks. What views, maybe if you could go a little bit more into the specifics, are you protesting?
Well, for example, his whole comment about Jewish and Arab women not being present together in maternity wards. That would be a very, very good example of the sort of ideology, sort of belief structure, which we feel is deeply offensive and utterly inappropriate. What we have to do in our Jewish community is fight the good fight against anti-Semitism, against anti-Zionism, and against racism generally in British society. And therefore, to have someone here representing those views is an anathema to us, and it is utterly inappropriate. And that is why we reacted in the way that we did. It is absolutely essential that we don't give legitimacy to his opinions, nor normalize them in the discourse within the Jewish community globally. And so on behalf of the British Jewish community, we took the decision to act the way we did.
All right. Now, Smotrich was in the UK. He met with Chabad and probably a number of other organizations, and this was trying to rally support against the conversions law. How do you and your organization feel about the conversions law?
Well, our organization represents Jews ranging from ultra-Orthodox through to liberal progressive and secular Jews and everything in the middle. And we recognize the right of each denomination to set its own conversion policy. Our model of work is not that everybody should convert according to Reform or according to Orthodox. Each denomination has the right to set its own policy. But regarding the state of Israel, of course, we believe that conversion should be possible and accessible and accepted by the Israeli government through whichever denomination Jews choose to convert through.
You don't think that, because a common argument against the law is that it will fracture the Jewish community globally within Israel, fracture relations between ultra-Orthodox and other streams of Judaism. How do you respond to that?
Well, I can give you a personal view. I'm not sure I'm going to give you an organizational view there, but my personal view is that religious conversion should be between the Jew and her or his synagogue movement. And the state of Israel quite rightly recognizes the conversions of all Jews who convert outside of Israel, whether it be Britain, America, or anywhere in the world. The issue in Israel is that the rabbinic authorities don't recognize non-Orthodox conversions. So Israel gives a very mixed message. The state recognizes Reform conversions and the religious authorities do not. So that's an internal Israeli situation that obviously needs to be resolved at some way, at some level. And getting rid of the monopoly of the Orthodox establishment would go some way to doing that. Of course, Orthodox Jews who wish to convert through Orthodoxy should and must. That's obvious. But that's different from the point of view of a secular state.
All right, now, Michael, I want to get your opinion while I have you here on a number of other topics here. How do you feel about Amnesty International's recent libelous report on Israeli apartheid, especially as we consider Smotrich's remarks, which, as you said, are racist, repugnant, etc.?
So we were very public in our rejection of the Amnesty report. We issued a very clear statement together with the Jewish Leadership Council, and the president of the board and the chair of the Jewish Leadership Council published an op-ed together in the London Times, making clear our absolute rejection of the work of the Amnesty International report, which we felt was a slander, a libel on the state of Israel.
All right, Michael Wegier, thank you so much for joining us again today.
Thank you.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.